You think you look like a seasoned pro. You pull up to the cafe, swing a leg over your machine, and kill the engine with a satisfying click. But what the real riders sitting nearby just saw wasn't a pro. They saw a broadcast of rookie mistakes, a dozen tiny tells that screamed, "You're still faking it." The truth is, your bike doesn't make you a rider. Your gear doesn't make you a rider. Your habits do. And bad habits are like a neon sign flashing, "I have no idea what I'm doing." Most riders are too polite to say anything. They'll just watch, shake their heads, and maybe save the clip for a what not to do compilation. But not today. Today, we're calling it out. We're going to break down the subtle, cringy, and downright dangerous habits that make you look like you just won the bike in a raffle. This isn't about shaming you, it's about elevating you. Because real confidence isn't about looking cool, it's about being competent. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start riding with genuine skill, you're in the right place. And before we even start, if you're serious about this journey, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It's the first step in committing to being a better, smarter rider, not just another face in the crowd. All right, let's dismantle the clown show, one bad habit at a time. Number 1. The duck walk of shame. You know exactly what this is. The light turns green, and instead of a clean launch, you begin a pathetic shuffle. Left foot, right foot, paddling the pavement for 10, 20, even 50 feet before finally, reluctantly, hoisting them onto the pegs. To you, it might feel like a safe way to get going. To everyone else, it looks like you're a toddler learning to walk on a 500-pound machine you fundamentally do not trust. Here's the reality. Your bike is most stable when it's moving, and your body is providing input through the pegs and handlebars. When your feet are dangling, you are a passenger on an unstable projectile. You can't steer effectively, you can't brake properly, and you look utterly terrified. The fix is simple and non-negotiable. Practice your friction zone. Get the bike moving, and as soon as you feel that forward momentum, we're talking 5 miles per hour, get your damn feet up on the pegs. That's where they belong. That's where control begins. Anything else is just a public performance of your own insecurity. Number 2. The red light racer. We've all seen this guy. He pulls up to a stoplight on a perfectly straight road and immediately drops into a full MotoGP lean. One butt cheek off the seat, shoulder dropped, head tilted, looking like he's about to carve the apex of a corner that doesn't exist. He's just waiting for the light to change in a sea of minivans. What is happening here? This is a textbook case of poser posture. It's a misplaced attempt to look aggressive and skilled, usually copied from watching track racing without understanding the context. On the track, that body position is functional. At a stoplight, it's farcical. Worse than just looking ridiculous, it completely compromises your balance. Your weight is shifted, making a smooth, straight launch infinitely more difficult. You're more likely to wobble, stall, or have to catch yourself because you've preloaded your body for a turn you aren't making. The fix? Stay neutral. Sit centered on the bike, both feet down or one foot down, and the bike upright. Be relaxed, be ready, and save the lean for when it actually matters. Trying to look fast while standing still is the definition of a poser. Number 3. Speaking the wrong engine language. A motorcycle's engine is constantly talking to you. It tells you when it's happy, when it's stressed, and when it's about to give up. Amateurs are deaf to this language. They commit 2 cardinal sins. First, there's the first gear screamer. This is the rider who treats first gear as the only gear, revving the engine to the moon at 15 miles an hour. The bike sounds like a blender full of bolts, but he's not accelerating. He's just making noise. He's either afraid of the shifter or thinks high RPMs equal high speed. They don't. They equal a guy who hasn't read the owner's manual. The second sin is the opposite, the high gear lugger. This is the guy doing 30 miles an hour in fifth gear. The engine is chugging, vibrating, and bogging down, sounding like it's about to have a seizure. He thinks he's being smooth and quiet, but he's actually straining the drivetrain and has zero power on tap to get out of trouble. Real riders listen. They shift to keep the engine in its happy place, the middle of the rev range where torque is smooth and power is available. Learn your bike's language. Shift up to calm it down, shift down to wake it up. Don't be the guy screaming or choking his engine into submission. Number 4. The perpetual fidgeter. A ride should look smooth and deliberate, not like a frantic battle against your own clothing. But then there's the fidgeter. At every stoplight, he's a whirlwind of motion, tugging his glove fingers, adjusting his helmet strap, pulling his jacket collar, scratching an itch through his helmet, re-cinching a strap. He rides one-handed while trying to fix a sleeve that bunched up. To the outside world, this doesn't look like a rider making minor adjustments. It looks like a nervous, distracted, and completely unprepared individual. It signals that you didn't take the 2 minutes before your ride to get your gear right. A real rider gears up. Make sure everything is secure and comfortable before the key is even in the ignition. Constantly fiddling while moving isn't just a bad look. It's a critical safety failure. Your attention is divided. One hand is off the controls, and you're not ready to react. The fix is a pre-ride ritual. Put your gear on. Adjust it. Make sure it's right. Then, and only then, get on the bike and ride. Your gear should be an extension of you, not a constant irritating distraction. Number 5. The clutch coaster. This is one of the most common and revealing beginner mistakes. You're approaching a red light or a turn from 300 feet away. Instead of downshifting and using engine braking to control your speed, you just pull in the clutch lever and coast. You glide in, silent and disconnected, using only your brakes at the last second. It might feel smooth and easy, but what you've actually done is turn your powerful dynamic motorcycle into a heavy, unpowered scooter. You have voluntarily given up a massive amount of control. With the clutch in, you have no engine braking to help you slow down, putting all the stress on your brakes. More importantly, you have no immediate power. If a car suddenly pulls out in front of you, or you need to accelerate to avoid a hazard, your throttle is useless. You're just a rolling dead weight. This habit screams, "I don't understand how a drivetrain works." The pro move? Stay in gear. As you slow down, click down through the gears, letting the engine's compression help you decelerate smoothly. Keep the engine connected to the rear wheel for as long as possible. This keeps you in control, ready to react, and shows you're actively riding the machine, not just coasting on it. Number 6. The panic rev. A rev match on a downshift is a symphony of skill. A nervous, pointless blip of the throttle at a standstill is a cacophony of incompetence. The panic rever is the guy who constantly gooses the throttle for no reason. He does it at a red light. He does it in neutral. He does it because he thinks it sounds cool, or more likely, because he's terrified of stalling and has developed a nervous tic. It's the motorcycle equivalent of a kid yelling to prove he's tough. It doesn't signal power. It signals anxiety. It tells every experienced rider around that you don't have fine control over your right wrist and you're not comfortable with the bike at idle. It's also obnoxious to everyone within a 100-foot radius. Real control is about being smooth and deliberate. It's about applying throttle when you need it not as an involuntary spasm. The fix? Relax your grip. Breathe. Trust your bike's idle. Learn the difference between a functional input and just making noise. Your throttle is a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Number 7. The death grip of terror. Look at a new rider's hands. Chances are, you'll see white knuckles. They are strangling the handlebars, convinced that a tighter grip equals more control. The opposite is true. The death grip is a direct line to disaster. It transfers every tiny twitch from your upper body directly into the handlebars, causing instability and wobbles. It makes your steering inputs jerky and imprecise. It fatigues your hands, arms, and shoulders, making you a less effective rider over any distance. And visually, it makes you look stiff, panicked, and rigid. Riding should look fluid and relaxed, even in tense situations. The bike is designed to be stable. You just need to guide it. The fix is to consciously relax. Your hands should be firm, but not tight. Think of it as holding a bird, firm enough so it can't fly away, but gentle enough not to crush it. Keep your elbows bent and loose. Let the bike do the work. A relaxed rider is a rider in control. A tense rider is just a passenger holding on for dear life. Number 8. The theatrical blind spot check. Yes, you absolutely must check your blind spot before every lane change. It's non-negotiable. But there's a difference between a life-saving glance and a full-blown dramatic performance. The amateur turns his head so far around he could read the license plate of the car 2 lanes over. His entire torso twists, his elbow flares out, and for a solid 2 seconds, he is completely blind to what's happening in front of him. This isn't caution, it's overcompensation. It tells everyone you don't trust your mirrors and you lack spatial awareness. It's a panicked, inefficient movement that actually increases your risk by taking your eyes off the road ahead for too long. The pro move is a quick, sharp, and efficient head turn. It's a chin-to-the-shoulder glance, not a full exorcist style. Neck crank. Your eyes do the work. A quick scan is all it takes. Trust your mirrors to do 90% of the job, and use the head check as the final, quick confirmation. Look sharp, not startled. Number 9. The parking puzzle master. Parking should be the simplest part of the ride, yet it's where so many riders reveal their amateur status. You see them parking nose in on a downhill slope, a guaranteed recipe. For a bike, you can't push back out. You see them taking up a full car spot diagonally. You see them parking on soft dirt or loose gravel with the kickstand slowly sinking. Or my favorite, the guy who parks so close to a wall or another vehicle that he has to perform a Cirque du Soleil routine just to dismount. Poor parking isn't just awkward. It's a sign of a lack of foresight, one of the most critical skills a rider can have. It puts your bike at risk of tipping over and makes you look like you've never considered the simple physics of a 500-pound object on a tiny kickstand. The fix. Think before you stop. Always park in gear. On a slope, face the EV, bike uphill. Find firm, level ground. Give yourself space. Park in a way that allows for an easy exit. It takes 5 extra seconds of thought, and it's the final signature on a well-executed ride. Number 10. The gear misfit. You can spend thousands on the best gear in the world, but if you wear it wrong, you might as well be wearing pajamas. The gear misfit is everywhere. He's the guy with the expensive race jacket flapping wide open in the wind, turning it into a giant air brake that offers zero abrasion resistance. He's the rider with armored gloves, but the wrist straps are undone, ready to fly off at the first sign of impact. He wears his helmet with the strap so loose it could be a necklace, He tucks his reinforced riding pants into his boots, creating a perfect funnel for wind and a leverage point to snap your ankle. These aren't style choices, they are functional failures. They tell the world you bought the costume but never learned the part. Properly worn gear isn't just about safety. It's a statement of intent. It says, I understand the risks, and I am prepared. So zip up your jacket, cinch your gloves, tighten your helmet, wear your gear as the manufacturer intended. Otherwise, you're not a rider. You're just a mannequin in expensive clothing. Number 11. The unsolicited group captain. Every group ride has one. The guy who, despite no one asking him, decides. He's the leader. He slowly drifts to the front, starts setting a pace the group isn't comfortable with, and begins throwing out random, unbriefed hand signals. This isn't leadership, it's ego. Leading a group is a serious responsibility. It requires planning the route, maintaining a consistent pace for the slowest rider, communicating clearly, and being constantly aware of the entire group behind you. The self-appointed captain does none of this. He just wants the glory of being at the front. He'll speed up on the straights and slam on the brakes in the corners, creating a dangerous accordion effect behind him. He's not leading, he's just riding alone with a bunch of annoyed people following him. Real leadership on a ride is earned and agreed upon. If you weren't designated the leader, your job is to fall in line, maintain your spacing, and be a predictable, reliable part of the group. Don't be the guy who hijacks the ride. It's the quickest way to ensure you never get invited again. Number 12. The rear brake stomper. In your rider safety course, they teach you to use both brakes. But many new riders become overly reliant on the rear brake because it feels safer and less aggressive than the powerful front brake. The rear brake stomper uses it for almost all of his slowing. You'll see his brake light flashing constantly as he gently drags the rear brake into every corner and up to every stop. The problem? The rear brake accounts for only about 30% of your total stopping power. By relying on it, you are drastically increasing your stopping distance. Worse, it's incredibly easy to lock up the rear wheel, especially in a panic situation, leading to a skid you're not prepared to handle. It looks tentative and shows a fear of the motorcycle's true capabilities. The fix is to build a relationship with your front brake. It's your power brake. Practice applying it smoothly and progressively in an empty parking lot. Learn to use both brakes in concert, balancing the load between them. A rider who understands how to brake properly is a rider who is in command of his machine. Number 13. The signal denier. This rider believes he's either too cool, too important, or too telepathic to use turn signals. He'll change lanes with nothing more than a slight weave as a warning. He'll make a turn from the middle of the road, leaving cars behind him slamming on their brakes. He operates in a bubble of self-importance, assuming everyone on the road is monitoring his every intention. This isn't just lazy, it's arrogant and incredibly dangerous. As a rider, you are already less visible than a car. Your turn signals are one of the few tools you have to communicate your intentions to the 2-ton metal boxes surrounding you. Refusing to use them is telling every other driver, "My convenience is more important than your safety and my own." The fix is brutally simple. Use your signals. Every turn, every lane change. Make it an automatic, non-negotiable part of your riding DNA. It takes zero effort, and it might just save your life. It shows you're a considerate, predictable member of traffic, not a rogue agent. Number 14. The cold start concert. This one is subtle, but telling. The rider walks up to his bike, flips the ignition, and immediately fires it up with a thunderous, vroom. Then, he just sits there. He starts putting on his gloves. He adjusts his mirrors. He plugs in his phone. He waits for his buddy. All while the bike is idling, annoying the neighbors and heat cycling the engine for absolutely no reason. Modern, fuel-injected bikes don't need a long warm-up. This ritual isn't for the bike, it's for the rider's ego. It's an announcement. Look at me, I am about to ride my loud motorcycle. It's a premature celebration. An experienced rider does the opposite. They get completely ready first. Helmet on and secured, gloves on, gear zipped, route in mind. Everything is set. Then, as the very last step, they start the engine, click into gear, and ride away. It's efficient, professional, and respectful. It shows you're there to ride, not to perform. So there you have it. A list of habits that separate the riders from the role players. The good news is, every single one of these is fixable with a little self-awareness and practice. Riding isn't about being perfect from day one. It's about a commitment to constant improvement. Stop broadcasting your insecurities and start riding with quiet confidence. Now, I want to hear from you. What are the cringy rider habits that drive you crazy? Drop them in the comments below. Let's build on this list. And if this video helped you see something in your own riding you need to fix, hit that like button. Until next time, ride with your head up, your feet on the pegs, and leave the circus act for the big top. Ride smart.